Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd hop on and share some of my thoughts. And it's been quite a busy time period that we've been going into, along with the changes of the system. There's a lot of systems that are literally dismantling, and many other systems that are also formulating into new ones to try and save the corruption. Amongst that is also a greater energetic change or electromagnetic change that is basically blocking that from taking place. So the more they're trying to scurry to try and save what is uh, corruption, I could say, and this is not just physical or material. I'm also referring to it as um, esoterically and exoterically on a metaphysical reality or realm or observation. I can say that we have been going through quite a lot of changes, a great deal of internal and external fluxes or shifts to adapt to how to manage the self while basically dealing with that which is happening around oneself. But just a few thoughts on basically what's been going on this week that's we've just gone past, or the week before that, and the month really. You know, if there is such a drive to essentially block internal growth, you can definitely see it in what is being projected into this material world so that it hurts, so that matter becomes manipulated. As I've always said, matter is manipulatable or malleable. One can basically manipulate matter. And we also know that those that are unable to create will often use technology to try and ascertain that ability to enforce their presence, whether it's to create some sort of causal drama to throw everyone in place or to put you back into your place. Um, it is quite disturbing and alarming when it happens. You know, we had a very serious flood just a few months ago where in KZN, South Africa, for those of you who are not aware, where the floods were quite bad and wrecked quite a lot of uh, roads and things. But you also then notice how certain structures that you thought would be good or sound didn't withstand that. So while that happened, I had often mentioned that we were deeply connected to Great Spirit as much as we were able to while we were busy parrying the actual psychic attack, because that is what that was, a massive psychic attack that took place. And their intentions were to basically destroy a the connection that one has. Essentially, when I want to put you into subjection or submittance of my power, then I will break things around you so that you will come to your knees and then worship me. Type of ideology that played itself out and still did and still has been. We had another flood just literally a few days ago, which was doubled up, and we could actually feel where that was coming from. You could actually feel the energy and you could see where it was coming from. And so essentially, uh, everyone has been going through a lot of internal changes as well while these things take place. And so, with this last psychic attack that had taken place, and there are many other psychic attacks that hit the world from all over, because remember now, the work that they use, the Ministry of Magic, which is what I call them, but I actually think I should call them something else. I should call them something that is really just desperate, I suppose, because their drive for a greater ritual that is currently taking place, which requires a lot of human sacrifice, whether it is man, woman, and child. It is irrespective. What is really the driving force for them is to basically eradicate as much as they can, or make a dent into the population of the human race. And they have forfeited their original human bonds with Great Spirit. So you're dealing with something that has basically no conscience. It's got no awareness to the extent of its destruction, and it really just lives off of your emotional energy and your distress while it feasts on its own driving passions or impulses. That is something that I believe is mentioned in certain articles, which I've also been going through, called aesthetic terrorism. It's a form of Satanism, and it is not related to Satan or Saturn or anything like that, but it is referenced in that way because that element, that planet, it has been, unfortunately, or the influence of the planet Saturn itself has been used to create worship to a god. And their drive, as I've said before, which I'll bring up again when in my last live stream, which if you've not seen, please scoot over there and have a look, where I said that there is a massive ritual that's taking place to try and eradicate as many, or to take out as many people as possible in one way or another for a massive blood sacrifice. Now, I don't know how long this video will be on here because I'm assuming I should watch my P's and Q's, but the Promethean channel is shadowed, so it is limited in how the information goes about. So if you do find the work important for you or interesting enough, please like and share the work so that it brings the channel back online. This is why, for another reason why I created the fountain, which is essentially growing very slowly, but I'm letting basically nature run its course. So aside from that, the aim to create this ritual, or fill this ritual, is to bring in a god, their god, the god that they are worshipping, because the war on this planet is about gods, whether it's man-made gods or non-man-made gods, whether it's discarnated spirits that have been venerated or worshipped into a god status or not. The fact is, it's about ego and the reactions to where things go in the world. Alternatively, as I said, the word aesthetic terrorism requires nothing else. There is no respect for life. You can look it up and you can see what it means. There's actually no respect for life. Beauty doesn't matter. Life doesn't matter. Love means nothing. Only thing that matters is the impulse that is very lower base in the frequency of this type of human. And so it worships the material world. It sees that those who are connected to the multi-dimensional levels within this reality, within this world, within many worlds, it sees those as parasites. And so it is basically as if the parasitical element that is trying to drive the eternal frequency. It's trying to remove it out of the system, but just enough so that it can still have what it wants. Just enough. So I'm basically wanting to share with you that when these changes take place, always remember that it's within you, that you are able to control and manage things. They understand how we operate because yeah, they understand how we operate. They know that this is how we do things. They can't do what we do, but they can use other things. So it brings me to the next point that I want to bring up. If you are finding yourself in a situation where you are literally feeling that you are completely lost, or you are traumatized or stressed out about the circumstances around you, and you're feeling desperate and afraid, then the more you feel desperate and afraid, the more there is food for them. Remember, they are also psychic, so psychic abilities, as I've said, is inherent in the human form. If they are psychic in such a way that they require spirits, people who have passed, spirits to explore for them. It is also known to be jinn, that can also be called jinn. Yet I don't propagate the information about the jinn because it is also very heavily rooted in mythologies as well. But the ability to actually control a person who has passed on in the realm of the dead, is possible, unfortunately. And that depends on how strong you are in this reality. If you are basically uncontrolled, or you are sovereign within yourself, then you will not feel any control within you. If you feel no control inside of you, then where you go, where you walk, you will take that peace and sovereignty with you wherever you are. And how you live in your reality is based on how you feel about yourself. Yes, there will be times that you'll feel that that is definitely being challenged, of course, naturally speaking. But the aim of the entire process in itself is for your path to connect back to Great Spirit. That is why humans are here. They're given the chance to become part of the original connection. What had happened before the time, why the human race was brought here, is irrelevant right now. What is important was that the aim was for the human race to explore and expand the consciousness of Great Spirit, because the Great Spirit is within the human consciousness also. But what had happened at the time, the fall and the original sin, as I call it the fall and the original sin. It all is due to the fall. Is about neglecting or negating that sacred connection within the self. And so slowly but surely, as they had attempted to erode that sacred connection by placing an external worshipping god of matter, and AI and machine and whatever you want to call it, the more the human race had started to lose interest and touch within what is within. And so it was basically almost behaving as if it was also impulse driven for many, many centuries. Unfortunately, the human race had also adhered to the aesthetic terrorism that we are experiencing right now. Meaning worshipping nature, worshipping material, matter, worshipping the rock. to put it like that. Like I always say, worship the pen. So when floods happen, whether it's manipulated, man-made or not, when storms happen, when there's much weather changes taking place, it really is a reaction to your state of consciousness. It is the reaction to how you feel within yourself. And if you're feeling that you needed to have something happen to break the feverish control, then it happened. So you have the ability to look at your experiences, whether with fear, sadness, or learning from it. Learn from what has happened now. See it as a change. See it as change to betterment, because what comes out of that, there are many miracles that come from that. Always does. When there was a fire, the beautiful green grass blades still shoot through. The animals are still born. Humans are still continuing to be birthed. Animals are still continuing to be birthed into this reality. So that explains to you that the power that nature has as feminine within her sacred expression still continues with the sacred love bond that she has with Great Spirit. And the children honor that connection. I'm leaving that with you. Have a beautiful evening. Have a beautiful day. Much love.